seen anything like that. Wide right.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go in the end zone. He's going to go in the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. You believe in miracles? Yes.
Hit it, Roy.
It's the Davey Mac Sports Program, where we talk to sports and other stuff, like magic. Speaking of which, I once saw a magician make a stick of Land O'Lakes disappear. It wasn't the greatest trick, but it was better than nothing. I'm Roy Harter, and here's your host, Mr. Eastside Dave McDonald, everybody. There he is.
Thank you,
Hey,
Roy. Roy, that was actually one of your better introductions you've ever had.
I read it word for word, and I actually read it prior to us starting the show. So thank you.
For what? Yes, all of my hard work. Someone finally actually looked at it before the show. So
That's right. Yeah.
It did feel like a kid who didn't study, who was cramming right before the exam, and was like, if we don't go right now, I'm going to forget all this. You nailed it.
Well, listen, thank you all. Hey, we took off Father's Day, but we are back. Davey Mac Sports Program is ready to rock. And I swear to God, because we took off Father's Day, I was like thinking, you know, the NBA Finals is probably going to be over, right?
Yeah.
We're at Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Game 7 is tonight between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. Now, first things first, we all love Game 7s. Absolutely. However, the NBA Finals is interminable. It takes forever. The fact that we were discussing the NBA Finals, folks, 2 weeks ago, we took off Father's Day, and here we are 2 weeks later, and we're still talking about the NBA Finals. Maybe someone in the NBA can pay attention to the fact that their sports popularity is decreasing monumentally every single year. Right now, the NBA Finals are averaging around just over 8 million people per game. That's terrible. Worst ratings, yes, worst ratings in decades to compare to the 2024 World Series between the Yankees and Dodgers. That averaged almost 16 million. So baseball, twice the ratings in their championship round that the NBA has in their championship round. And again, ESPN, why did you spend $2 billion the National Basketball Association, and you wanted to keep baseball on ESPN? You wanted to give them 25 pretzel rods and $1,500. Like that's what they wanted to give baseball. And their heads are so far up their asses. This broadcasting team of Mike Breen, Doris Burke, and Richard Jefferson fucking sucks.
Wow.
They had maybe the best broadcasting team in all of sports with Mike Breen, Stan Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson. Those guys had amazing chemistry. You even saw them out partying, they'd be at Yankee games or Red Sox games, on the day off, they'd be together, drinking and shit. These guys were genuinely friends, which is why Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy then could make fun of each other, and it was a wonderful dynamic. Instead, we got Doris Burke. Holy fucking shit. I watched the 50th anniversary of Jaws on Friday night.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anniversary.
Did they finally colorize it?
Already in color, you jerk.
Oh, okay.
Spielberg even did a little introduction. Fantastic. But I would rather listen to Quint's fingernails on the chalkboard for 3 straight hours than 2 minutes of Doris Burke. Holy shit. She makes Susan Waldman sound like fucking Whitney Houston. This is the most abrasive fucking thing. And then when she tries to get a little hip hop and she's like, oh yeah, Tyrese Haliburton throwing down. I'm like, fuck, man. Is that a goddamn Dusty Rhodes impression that you're doing, Doris? Because what's going on there? Ooh, Tyrese Haliburton. Ooh, daddy. Whoa, daddy. Tyrese Haliburton with a nice no-look pass, daddy. Woo! Oh, baby, from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the canyon. Tyrese Haliburton got one more filled with dollar, and he ain't just gonna let him catch him. No, we ain't gonna let him catch my Haliburton. The coverage has been terrible. And look, we've had a couple good games. We've also had a lot of blowouts in this fucking thing. And taking 2 days, 3 days between games has destroyed any flow to this fucking thing. To the point where Game 7, I don't care what the sport is. I'll watch any Game 7. We all love Game 7 so much. But I got to tell you, do I have juice for this fucking game tonight between the Thunder and Pacers? No, I do not.
Ooh.
I don't, because they dragged this thing out. And then we got to have Doris Burke. And
more like Doris Dork.
What?
Said more like Doris Dork.
Fucking, how about clitoris cunt?
Yeah, get her, Dave.
It's easy, Dave. Come on, it's a family show.
You're right. You're right. Minus 50 points for me. Okay? Now, listen. I am a Knicks fan, and you're right. I'm just gonna just have the whole goddamn fucking thing across my forehead. Hater. You got that right. I drink gallons and gallons of fucking Indiana Pacer Haterade every single day. I hate that team. I hate their piss yellow jerseys. And I hate Tyrese Haliburton, the biggest fraud of a so-called superstar in the entire goddamn league. For starters, this guy tries to do no-look passes. Did you see the game the other day where he got a steal and he did a, quote, no-look pass to Pascal Siakam? I'm sorry. Passing a ball, seeing your teammate, seeing them clearly, passing them the ball, and then doing a nice little pirouette like he's a nice fancy boy, like he's, Belindikoff or something, Roy Harter.
Baryshnikov, you mean, right?
Baryshnikov. Oh, yeah. Belindikoff was the Raiders wide receiver. See, I tried to go for culture, and I went to a fucking Oakland Raider from the 70s.
I thought it was I thought it was the bassist of the Bangles or the Go-Go's.
You want to see this, Dave?
Oh, yeah, Robert. Thank you. Here's the Haliburton thing.
This is the no-look pass?
Nice, cute little twist at the end. Show it to him again, Robert. Just that one. Watch him pass the ball, and then after he releases it, clearly looking at the guy, a nice little spin. The most no-look. That's 100%. They should rename that a look pass with Tyrese Haliburton. Tyrese Haliburton does a look and spin pass. It ain't no look. Magic Johnson would literally fucking be looking at you and then like throw it to a guy like 18 feet away, never ever looking in that direction. He'd dribble, he'd be like, and then he'd pass the ball over and you'd be like, does he have fucking eyes on his ears? Like, how did he see that guy? Haliburton sees his teammate and then spins.
They have very good peripheral vision. They train for that shit, David. As a matter of fact,
athletes, you mean?
HIV victims.
Okay. I need clarification on who they is in this scenario, right?
Sorry, David.
No, well, sometimes that German, you're 100% Aryan. You're looking more and more like not even World War II Germans. You're looking like World War I Germans these days. And so when Roy says they, I'm like, getting into scary territory, I suppose.
That was Roy's equivalent of throwing a no-look pass. We're all like, no, we need you to look. We need to be very clear here, Roy.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear Tyrese Haliburton is fucking better than Jalen Brunson ever again. Yeah, I know. like I said, I'm a Knicks fan. But you have 2 point guards in the NBA. SGA and Jalen Brunson. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Thunder and Jalen Brunson. And they're the 2 best point guards in the NBA. And Haliburton doesn't even fucking come close. You know this guy's averaging 14 and a half points a game in the NBA Finals. I'm supposed to take that seriously? See, if Jalen Brunson had one game where he got 14 points, he would get booed out of the building. As is, I think he had one bad game in that 6-game series against the Pacers, and his bad game was 18 points. Everything else was 25 here, 28 there, 32 here, 35 there. That's all Jalen Brunson did. I don't want to hear Haliburton ever again. If the goddamn Pacers didn't have Pascal Siakam, they would have been swept a long time ago, number one. Number two, I don't even think Tyrese Haliburton's the best point guard on his fucking team.
No, he's
TJ McConnell, that little goddamn, Michael J. Fox looking freakazoid.
Okay.
Without the shakiness, I mean.
Other direction, Roy. Wouldn't have worked there.
That guy, very, very Caucasian.
Yeah, the opposite.
TJ McConnell's outplayed Tyrese Haliburton, his own teammate.
Which is why you should be scared if you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, because everybody knows it's a Game 7, and the worst thing about a Game 7 is some dude who should be doing accounting exactly like TJ McConnell can ruin your entire season by having.
It won't be Haliburton. Mark my words. If it is, I'll eat my hat. I will eat it next week. Next week on the show, I'm eating the hat. Now, I am going to need some ketchup, though, and maybe a little mustard, because you never said no condiments with the hat, motherfucker. So don't box Davey in a corner.
I was in Alabama last night. Deep fry that sumbitch.
I know. A good friend of mine, Patreon, Ronnie Archer, we got to say hello to him. He had bought tickets to see you and Aaron Berg do your fantastic comedy, and he got ill, very ill, and he was pissed and upset about it. So he said, please tell Bobby and Aaron that I was there. I was ready to go, and I it sounded like, I'm not sure if Ronnie Archer had to go to hospital. So but our best wishes with him.
Yeah, get well soon,
dude.
Man. Sorry to hear that.
Yes.
Get well soon, Ronnie.
But,
great audience member, Ronnie Archer. Definitely get well soon.
Dave, you said Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
Do you mean because of his abilities on the basketball court, or perhaps because of his connection to the dark arts?
He does look like a person who would practice voodoo. I'm not going to lie.
You see the video or the image going around? People are accusing him. This was I'm pulling it up right now.
Show it to me. Because, if you said Pascal Siakam is like a guy in Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, like ripping people. Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
That's straight up Exorcist.
That was the huddle before the rallying game to force Game 7.
I mean, actually, it's like the guy I'm wearing on my shirt. He's got an Undertaker thing, but everyone knows Undertaker is the spawn of Satan. So yeah, it all fits.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah, if that happened to me, I'm running out of the goddamn arena. I'm saying, you know what? You guys take Game 7. I don't need to lose my soul over this. I'll be okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm right there. I don't fuck with the dark art.
So again, I am all in. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna pay attention. But it's a lackluster NBA Finals, in my opinion, for a series that would go 7 games. Too many days between games. Why can't the NBA understand these little simple things? You play, you have an off day. You play, you have an off day. You play, you have an off day. Boom. That keeps it flowing, Daddy. Jeez. I mean, it's insane. We were breaking down the NBA Finals, took a fucking entire week off for Father's Day, come back, and it's still the NBA Finals. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah. No. It's in the NBA, NHL Finals, there should not be a day without sports to watch. It was the most frustrating thing when there would be a gap in both of them, and you're like, what are we doing here?
As fans, it'd be perfect. They should just always have an alternating schedule, and then as fans, and I actually saw Charles Barkley at the hockey. He was like, he did a little shit for TNT just for fun.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'll tell you, the hockey was great. I watched the hockey, and I'm sorry to all of my friends in Canada. I'm sorry I rooted for the Oilers. And Roy, guess who fucking lost? The Edmonton Oilers.
Of course, David. You're not allowed to be happy,
there's a Dave curse. I never, ever had this.
New Fez.
It's quite possible I am the new Fez. I don't know why. Rooting for the Yankees my entire life, they get to the World Series, they lose in heartbreaking fashion. Rooting for Notre Dame, they get to the championship, they lose in heartbreaking fashion. The goddamn Knicks, rooting for them my whole life, they get to the Eastern Conference Finals and then fucking lose. And because I said, hey, if the Edmonton Oilers fans will root for the Knicks, I'll root for the Oilers. And so I kept my bargain. Oilers went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, played the Florida Panthers. And I'll tell you, Edmonton Oilers fans, you're better people than me if you don't send some fucking nasty-ass emails to that goddamn goalie of yours. Holy shit. He was terrible.
Well,
to the point where on Game 7, the announcers were literally like, I don't know what he's doing tonight, guys. It was a Game 7. You bring your A game. If you're a goalie worth half your salt, you don't put your team in a down 4-1 in the second period predicament. You don't do that. You rise to the occasion. And maybe that's the Devils fan. I mean, I got too used to seeing Martin Brodeur show up in the postseason and win his ass 3 Stanley Cups. East Side for life is what Martin Brodeur said.
What did he say?
East Side for life, Daddy.
Did you see Skinner as he was games right before the biggest game of his life? That's the Oilers goalie, Skinner. Skinner, the goalie. Did you see this video of him getting onto the ice that night as the commentators are going, and this is the man it's all going to rely on. This is the guy it's all going to come down to.
Tripped.
Oh, man, the guy is jinxed.
When they're like, this is the guy. He literally falls on his ass.
I mean, come on.
Exactly how he played in the game. The biggest game ever. He fell on his goddamn ass. What a horrible goalie that guy is. I'm sorry, I ain't no hockey expert, but I know good sports when I see it. That shit was terrible.
I can't believe he fell. That's mortifying. I mean, I'm a terrible ice skater, but I very rarely fall. I'm not a professional hockey player. You would expect these guys to be able to do amazing things on skates, but come on.
The guy was a complete nervous wreck. You could see it in his face. You could see it in his eyes. He didn't want to be there. The coach actually had benched him. I don't know why the coach decided, you know what, I'm going to put him back out there. Because he was overwhelmed by the moment. By the way, so congratulations to the Florida Panthers. I'm sorry, Edmonton Oilers, for cursing you. And maybe the Fez curse has hit me. But speaking of Ron and Fez, my man, Adrian Peterson, got in trouble. There's a photo. I don't know if you can grab, Robert, but a photo of Adrian Peterson in the Ron and Fez studio. It's in the email. And it's of Adrian Peterson, Roy, and my little son, Stanley Mac.
Okay.
And, Adrian Peterson visited the show. And you get a great shot. I took a nice little picture of Adrian Peterson. There it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's Adrian Peterson. Now, I will say something odd about Adrian Peterson. I went to shake his hand, and I've never had someone shake my hand so hard. It was like he was trying to hurt me. Now,
he probably was, Dave.
I know this guy's an NFL player, ran for 2,000 yards, probably a Hall of Famer, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But, dude, you're obviously going to be stronger than me. And I'm not some fucking Roy Harter dead fish handshaker, you understand? Roy does the little dead fish just to creep people out, and sometimes he even gives you a little finger in the palm type of creepazoid factor.
That's right. Yeah.
But Oh, it's happened to me, folks.
First time we met, that's how Roy shook my hand.
Yeah,
I'm from a Masonic temple. It's a code that we have to find out other Masons.
But I swear to God, I thought Adrian Peterson was trying to break my hand, like on purpose, or I thought he was at least trying to like injure me. And I'm like, what's the deal here, man?
Did he do the whole, the Macron like Trump pull you in tight kind of thing as well?
It wasn't a pull in. It was strictly. I believe in a firm handshake. He believes in a firm handshake, and maybe because I have a firm handshake, he decided, I have to be the alpha in this situation. And her now, I didn't wince. I didn't go I didn't do it. I just stood there and took it. If my hand bones were about to break, Davey Mac was like looking at $2 million fucking lawsuit. So I was okay with it. I was going to sacrifice the hand because guess what? I'm a southpaw anyway. You shake hands with your right hand. If this thing gets fucked up, well, who gives a shit? I'm a lefty.
Why do you have a claw? Well, you remember that 2,000-yard running back, Adrian Peterson?
Yeah.
It's a great story to tell.
Broke every bone in my body for some bizarre alpha male demonstration. And I think I out-alphaed him by not wincing, by looking in his eyes and pretty much thinking, well, this is weird, but I'm not giving up on this. We're just going to shake hands really way too hard and uncomfortably.
Yeah. How long did it last? Did it go beyond the normal,
like 30 seconds of like
come
handshake.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's clearly some sort of manipulation going on there. That's not.
Well, I didn't quit.
Yeah, no, I know you didn't.
He was trying games with the wrong guy because I was prepared to like ruin the whole interview by just standing there and shaking his hand. Ron would be like, "Okay, can you get the guest in the seat, please? We have an interview." I'm like, "Nope, we got a handshake competition here, Ronnie B."
You should have reached out to the old French, kissed his palm.
So that's going on. Anyway, the whole reason why we're talking about him is he just got in a brawl at a poker tournament.
Yeah, I could go figure.
Did you see? He's the guy on the left. He's the bigger man on the left.
He's the one who looks like he played in the NFL.
Good thing you kept shaking his hand, David. This is what happens when you don't.
Yeah, but I will say he's not exactly kicking the guy's ass. The smaller guy.
I'm sure he's just trying to push the guy off of him at this point.
Well, look at him. It looks like he jabbed. Ooh, that guy connected. No. Ooh, that guy got another one in.
Oh yeah, I take it back. He means business.
Look at this. This is like Rocky Apollo Creed. Oh no! Now he's got him cornered. Wow, that was actually a good fight.
That's what happens when you release the handshake too early, David. He sets him off.
So I publicly on Twitter said I back Adrian Peterson simply because he was nice when Stanley was in there. But the handshake and yes, Robert.
Along those lines, when in Adrian Peterson's career did he meet Stanley? Because this isn't the first time he's been in trouble.
Oh, no, I know. It was during his career and right before he got arrested, Roy, for beating his own son with a tree branch.
Oh, wow. So this guy's got some anger issues.
Well, he was like, this is how I was raised. Like, this is called discipline. And the police are like, okay, but like... Yeah. You were abused.
Yeah, you heard it.
And so is your son.
Wow, that's terrible, man. Now, and the cycle continues, David.
Just because.
It's terrible. Terrible.
You, yes,
I just thought maybe that's why he was shaking your hand so hard. If it was right after that and you had your kid in there with him and he thought you were fucking with him, I could see him being like, "What? All right, tough guy."
Yeah. Very serious man. Not a lot of joy in that dude. I found him to be he was the serious, intense eyes. I don't know why I'm publicly backing him on Twitter. Maybe I should rescind that support. I said I back Adrian Peterson just because of that photo, though. Just because of a photo, I'm backing him. I guess so.
A photo with your son, and he rushed for 2,000 yards in a season. Okay, that gets you some slack. I don't know if you heard about this OJ fella.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, how old is this guy, out of curiosity?
These days, got to be in his 40s, I guess.
All right, so we'll be seeing him on the news. He's got some time yet, so he'll be back in the news, I'm sure of it.
You're predicting a murder from Adrian Peterson?
Maybe not a murder, but I'm predicting some sort of violent incident. I mean, if he's getting into fistfights over poker games, come on, this guy's on I can see the trajectory.
Wow. If he kills someone, I hate to say it, but we're going to have to brag about this prediction.
Royster Thomas strikes again.
I mean, we're going to have to make this a viral clip. Now, it's very dark and morbid that we would do that we would brag and be happy. But let's be honest. After the handshake thing, no. After shaking my hand too hard, send him away. Put him away. So, okay, there's Peterson. Hey, congrats to the Florida Panthers. What can I say? Back-to-back championships. I apologize to the Oilers. Game 7 is tonight between Thunder and Pacers. Predictions. Roy Harter, let's go.
I'm going with the Pacers on this one, David. I think your curse is a real thing, and it's going to hold true.
Jesus Christ. If the Pacers win tonight, I'm going to be beside myself. Give us a score, please.
It's a basketball game, right? So we're talking big numbers here. This is probably going to be like 84 to 78.
84 to 78. So low-scoring game. Low-scoring game, Roy.
I forgot that it was basketball. So it's going to be a high-scoring game. So probably closer to 120 to 106.
Okay. 120 to 106, says Roy. After I instantly made him feel stupid, and he decided to revise his goddamn score. Well, because I mean, that's
am I hot or cold, David? You tell me.
I like the second score. The other score was like after 3 quarters. Roy, these teams put up points. Yeah, these two teams are putting up points, my friend.
Well, I will make a prediction. I will say the third quarter is when everything's going to change for them.
All right, Robert.
I'm kind of along Roy's lines. I'm also taking the Pacers. I think they've got a fucking warlock on their team, and you don't want to deal with that. All right, I don't foresee OKC doing the steps they would have to control Siakam. Right, like a salt circle, some iron spikes, some holy water. All these things we could do to prevent him from having the type of game. I do think the third quarter is where he's going to put some kind of hex on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah. He's going to get hurt, and that's when the Pacers are going to run away with it. Ooh. So my prediction's 110 to 87.
Wow.
Okay.
Now I know Pascal Siakam is essentially basketball's version of the WWE's Boogeyman, but I think just like Temple of Doom, where Indiana Jones was able to destroy all those evil voodoo practitioners, I think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will be victorious tonight, 36 points. And I think the Oklahoma City Thunder win this game 125 to 108. And the Thunder capture the first NBA championship in franchise history. One of these teams is going to be a first-time winner, either the Pacers or the Thunder. But the Pacers have been around since the 70s, going back to the ABA. So for the Pacers, I mean, this is a huge deal. Having, the players that they've had throughout the years, Reggie Miller, Bird coaching and president, and all the different guys that they've had, Chris Mullin and Jalen Rose, and speaking of Mark Jackson, it's time. But I can't do it. I won't do it. Thunder are going to win this series. Now,
and while they haven't been while they haven't been around as long, the Thunder's like all Oklahoma City has. It's like a old high school Friday night when they play in the playoffs. Like the whole town closes down early, all the bars are packed. So like that's what those people live for.
I give them credit
for them for that.
That's a very good, if not great, home court right there. The fans do give it them their all. They're absolutely nuts. I still feel bad though for Seattle. The Seattle Supersonics were a damn good basketball organization. And they had a shitty owner leave town and go to Oklahoma City to create the Thunder. But Jesus Christ, they should be giving a basketball team back to Seattle. The Sonics were a good franchise with good fans.
What if we took like a historically good franchise that has been kind of wallowing in mediocrity lately, and we gave it to Seattle? Something about the Super Knickerbockers has a nice ring to it.
Yes. You're going to take the New York City franchise, the one that plays in the Garden, and move. Yeah. No, that's not going to happen. I thought you had something real. Now I got something real. That's not the only basketball story going around. WNBA season has begun, and Caitlin Clark is back from injury after 3 weeks. When she was out for 3 weeks, guess what happened to the WNBA ratings? They declined by 55%. She is the league. Biggest ratings, biggest attendances, most merch sold. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA. This needs to be recognized at some point by the WNBA. I thought my Caitlin Clark rants were going to end last season. I really expected someone in the NBA, in the commissioner's office is what I'm saying, to provide a little leadership and say, hey, bitches, she is our golden goose. You are not to claw her eyeballs out and then hit her from behind and basically play a human version of pinball on this girl. Robert, roll this video and look at this shit. Claw at the eye. She rightfully is mad. And then bam, the girl from behind, by the way, like a cowardly bitch, shoves her. Hit her again. Scraping of the eye. Then the blonde girl actually gets in her face after clawing her. And then the other girl hits her.
That's terrible.
They are going to injure her again. And then when that happens, the ratings will decline again. I tell you, I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. The only reason why the WNBA is still afloat is because it's called the WNBA. The
Featuring
NBA
Caitlin Clark.
So stupid to allow them to capitalize on their branding. They were so stupid to allow them that name. If this was called the WBL, the Women's Basketball League, this entire league would have been defunct 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
They lose tens of millions of dollars every single year. They are failures. Your league sucks. You have no money. I can't think of any major sports league that loses tens of millions of dollars. The NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, they gain billions. They don't lose a fucking dime. What is wrong with these people to not understand that the goddamn gold mine, which is Caitlin Clark, shouldn't be pissed all over? This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. And no one on ESPN, on ABC, no one will call them out. Well, guess what? That's what the Dave Man is here for.
Get him.
Because your league is fucking terrible. This girl, the reason why people love Caitlin Clark, did you see on her first game back? She was literally shooting 28, 29, and 30-foot threes. She is Steph Curry.
Yeah.
She is Steph Curry shooting insane jumpers, insane three-point shots. She is fun to watch. She's not going to be available to play when she gets her eyeballs clawed out, and then she tries to back the bitch who clawed her eyes out, and then another bitch hits her from behind and knocks her to the ground. The girl is going to get hurt for an extended period of time, and then bye-bye ratings. When did these women become so self-important in the WNBA? Hey, ladies, your league from day one has been a financial failure. Your league loses money. Your league sucks. It sucks. You know what I saw on fucking Twitter?
What?
Just
I can only imagine.
insane trolling from the WNBA. Ready? It was a tweet. Angel Reese hits a three. They put Angel Reese simply making a three-point shot on the Twitter as if she had fucking done a 360 dunk from the goddamn free throw line. By the way, her fucking team lost by 30 points. What kind of clown fucking league is this? And by the way, equality, this is what equality looks like. The ability to celebrate who we want and criticize who we want. So take your misogynistic, your sexist, and fucking get lost. This is what it is. You want equality, you want people fired up about your sport, then you're going to get celebrated and you're going to get criticized the way the men do. And guess what? Just like when the men suck, we call it out here. Well, league-wide, your whole league sucks.
Minus one person. There's one exception to the suck rule, Dave, and that is Sophie Cunningham, who is Caitlin Clark's teammate, who finally did what you and I have been calling for 2 straight seasons.
True.
Post that play, Roy, since you didn't see the clip. She went and got into the girl who scratched her face, and then that girl was driving down the court, and she just grabbed her by the ponytail and threw her to the ground. She got ejected. She came out.
Cunningham, she hit the eye gouger. Here, hey,
wait,
WNBA. Hey, listen up, WNBA, real quick. You want me to take your sport seriously? How about telling your fucking athletes they can't have Freddy Krueger-like fucking fingernails?
There's more to this, Sophie.
Here's a typical player in the WNBA. Here, I'm gonna play defense on you. That's Halloween, bro.
Sorry, David. I knew it was one of those.
They allow their players to fucking get 3-4 inch fingernails that these women use to claw at each other's eyes like fucking little tigers.
I don't know how they can even. Oh, well, maybe they could. That's what they use to hold the ball better, right?
No,
I don't know. I'm just saying it could be, right?
They do it. They keep them long so they can literally scrape people.
That's not nice.
But Dave, I gotta tell you, there's so much more to this Sophie Cunningham story.
All right, yeah. Well, let's see the Sophie Cunningham clip.
She had. Did we have that?
Oh no. I thought you were saying you had the clip.
No, I was just.
Don't worry about it.
So there was a press conference then where she was supposed to apologize for her cheap shot, essentially, and her quote is, "I'm going to protect my teammates." It was a build-up. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting the star player of the WNBA.
That's awesome. That's a quote.
That is her quote. She got 1 million followers overnight, and you stated earlier, Caitlin Clark has the #1 selling merch in the WNBA. That is no longer true, as Sophie Cunningham outsold her for 3 straight days post her assault. So I know that personally.
Caitlin Clark's bodyguard. If Caitlin Clark is HBK, then this chick is Diesel. And she's the fucking bodyguard, baby. And she is kicking ass for Caitlin Clark. They said that since the age of, she has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. She started doing jiu-jitsu at the age of 6. She even kicked field goals on the high school football team, which had all men. This Sophie Cunningham. So, yes, this Sophie Cunningham, which it's funny. She's like a nice, pretty little blonde lady.
Yeah, I was going to ask if Diesel was way more fuckable than HBK.
But I will say this Sophie Cunningham clearly can fuck some shit up.
She can fuck my shit up. I'll tell you that.
Ew. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of the double standards of, and by the way, asking her to apologize. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? How many fucking times did the NBA ask Dennis Rodman or Draymond Green to apologize? That's ridiculous. Fine the player, fine. You know? Just fine them. But you need to do an apology. The WNBA's leadership is the worst. It's the worst. You fucking assholes. You suck.
Terrible sportsmanship. Oh, I should say terrible sportswomanship.
And look, like I said, none of this is misogynistic. This is equality. This is sports. No, I'm sorry. I called out fucking Tyrese Haliburton fucking at the beginning of the show just as hard as these idiots.
Did you call him a bitch, David?
Yes. I've called Tyrese Haliburton a lot worse than that privately, Roy. Yes. We rip people apart and then we celebrate people. Get used to it, WNBA. You don't like it? Then keep doing what you're doing. Have the girl get injured. Your whole fucking league will go bankrupt. NBA should seriously consider saying this. Hey, we're going to give you 3 fucking years. 3 years and you're on your own. We'll subsidize you for the next 3 years. after that, 2028, it's fucking sink or swim time. The goddamn league's been around for 30 years. They've lost money every year. They finally have a player that people are interested in watching, and they're just destroying this chick. And yeah, Sophie Cunningham did a great job, but the Indiana Fever are going to need like 5 more Sophie Cunninghams.
I'll put on a wig.
No one even touched the girl, by the way, who pushed her from behind. And there was an Indiana Fever player right next to her. She didn't do shit. If I'm the coach, I tell that player, get your ass out of here. Get out.
I agree. And I think Indiana has a real opportunity to affect the community as a whole here, Dave. What I would do is start you know how they have like halfway house programs? I would find some of these bitches that are in prison for like assault or shanking somebody. And if we couldn't get them on the court, we'd get them off the court.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Why's your water girl got a shank? Don't worry about it.
Can I point to one of the reasons why I think society in general is failing right now? And that is my viewpoint. Society is failing.
Oh, I got to hear this one, David.
Because no one has a thesaurus, Roy.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think of that.
No one utilizes a thesaurus, and no one is able to speak properly and articulate themselves in a nuanced fashion.
I totally could ascertain that.
I brought up my hatred of the word wild because it's the Swiss Army knife of words. You can talk to someone about the Holocaust and they'll be like, wild. And then you could be like, did you see Jackass last night and what Johnny Knoxville did? Wild. And it's like, okay, hold on. Those are like different spectrums. And yet what wild qualify? Wild is just wildly, which is an adverb, overused. Yeah.
You know who the worst one was? Will Smith. He couldn't come up with the way to describe the West twice. So he went wild, wild west.
Anyway, here's my point. I'm reading a Yahoo Sports article about the Yankees' Jazz Chisholm, who was returning from the injured list. Look at this goddamn paragraph here, Roy. If you have the picture here, Robert.
Give me 1 second, Dave.
I'll read it and then just show it whenever you have it. It says New York Yankees infielder Jazz Chisholm's Jr.'s tenure with the team has been the epitome of a mixed bag since it acquired him last summer. The 27-year-old slashed 273, 325, 500 with 11 home runs and 23 RBI in 46 games to finish out the regular season, but slashed just 182, 250, 309 with 2 homers and 2 RBI over 14 playoff contests. Chisholm's struggle continues this season as he slashed 151, 279, 312 in April before he went down with an oblique injury. However, he was a different player when he came back as he slashed 381, 391, 667 in June ahead of Tuesday's game versus the Kansas City Royals.
Now, Dave, that is wild.
You bastard.
I guess that's what happens when AI starts writing your content.
I looked it up. It said the author's name was Joshua Valdez. Now, I will also say, when I Googled Mr. Joshua Valdez, I found Jack and shit and Jack left town.
Oh, boy.
Point being, you're probably right, Roy. Joshua Valdez is probably AI. But Jesus Christ, you could have said the word hit, right? The 27-year-old hit 273, 325, 500, but batted just 182, 250, 309. Chisholm's struggle continued as you could have said, slugged 151. There's 3 synonyms right there.
Yeah, that's impressive,
But
David, actually.
No one uses a thesaurus anymore. Apparently, not even robots. And apparently, robots aren't as fucking smart as we thought it was. Maybe it's actually AS, artificial stupidity. Ass.
Yeah,
it's
AS
ass now.
Yeah.
Artificial sentient stupidity. Ass. The fact that a fucking computer would use the word slashed 4 times in 3 sentences is embarrassing, but it's actually the way of the world right now.
What's more embarrassing is they must have a human editor, I would assume, that would read over the content before it goes public. Obviously, they don't, because that seems
my
pretty.
point.
Yeah,
that is my point. Quality control, thesaurus, lack of editing. You know, if I fucking misplace a comma on one of my tweets, I delete that shit. Yeah. I can't stand it. I don't have the ability to edit. They never did that for me. So I absolutely will delete tweets based on punctuation errors or anything. It's horrifying to me. I recently saw a tweet. The only time I've ever I had a Modern Day Man tweet. That's a new show doing with Aaron Bergeroy.
That's right. Yeah.
I didn't put a period at the end of one of the little phrases. You know, it was describing the things that happen. It said Supercuts continued, and there's no period there. And but it got like 20 likes before I could fucking delete it. And I'm like, great. Because if I delete it, I'm not getting these 20 likes back. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna roll with this goddamn thing, but it's eating me up alive, and I'm still thinking of deleting the tweet. I gotta tell you.
You shouldn't delete the tweet, but we do have some breaking news going on in the world of the NBA. Oh. There was a big trade that went down. Kevin Flynn asks, "What are your thoughts on Durant getting traded to Houston?"
Is that official?
That is official. Let me pull up the article here.
Okay. I think. I don't think he's going to the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks' first-round pick. I thought he was going to go to the Spurs and play with Wembanyama and become like the tallest, the greatest, tallest fucking duo in NBA history. Like a gigantic version of Jordan and Pippen would be 7'1" Kevin Durant and 7 Victor Wembanyama. I thought they were going to do that type of gimmick. I think he will improve the Houston Rockets. They got that great coach that the Knicks wanted. By the way, so the Knicks, here was their Knicks strategy.
Yeah.
We're going to fire Tom Thibodeau, and then we're going to go after coaches in the league who are under contract. Because right now, the Knicks, they tried to talk to the Houston Rockets coach. They tried to talk to Jason Kidd, the Dallas Mavericks coach. And basically teams are like, no, that's okay. We're not giving you permission to talk to these guys because there are coaches. Like, what strategy was this? We're going to fire Thibodeau and we don't have a guy in mind? We're going to go after other teams' coaches? And now every team is rejecting the Knicks. And why wouldn't you? The Knicks went to an Eastern Conference Finals. If you're a team, you're going to be like, hey, let's help out a different organization, not ours. Let's help those guys out. The guys from, of all places, New York City. Let's help them out and give them our great coach. What thinking was this?
Also, poaching is not a good idea.
You're poaching from a team that did worse than you. You made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So none of the teams still playing, you're not going to get their coaches. You're only going to get a coach who performed worse than your team did this season. Right?
There's the one guy out there, Mike Malone, who's won a championship. That's the one. He can bring in the fact that he's actually a New Yorker. He's from New York. And he won a championship with the Denver Nuggets a couple years ago. And so he can bring at least that to the table. And weirdly enough, it sounds like they've never wanted him. We don't even hear any gossip about Mike Malone. It's about all these other teams and their current coaches that are just denying the Knicks, saying no. So I don't know. This could have been a mistake by Leon Rose, who's done a fantastic job as general manager. Now, was it all Leon Rose, or is this James Dolan, the Knicks owner? Yeah. Probably Dolan.
Yeah, it could be a recruiting strategy. Who knows? You know what his.
Leon Rose has been a good GM, but when there are weird, head-scratching, bizarre decisions, sometimes you think James Dolan is putting his little fat fingers back in the cookie jar. The Knicks run best when James Dolan just concentrates on his awful coffee house band.
Hey, be careful, David. You might get thrown out of MSG the next time you set foot in there. He's got that facial recognition shit. Be careful.
I know. They did that to Charles Oakley.
That's right.
The goddamn guy played on the Knicks for 15 years, got to an NBA Finals. He was Patrick Ewing's Sophie Cunningham. You know, he was actually like the guy who protected people, and they kicked him out because he said James Dolan isn't a good owner.
So I'm telling you, be careful, David.
I can't afford a Knicks game. What do you
think? I tell you, I would love to be in James Dolan's band. That's a good gig, man. That's a great gig.
Oh, man. You should definitely try out for that shit.
How do I get into his band?
Probably have you.
He probably would.
I'd love to play with him,
dude,
man.
You should send him an email saying, I have a recording studio in Long Island, first rate. List some of the celebs that you've worked with. It doesn't matter if they've gone to your home studio. Just tell them all the famous people.
Yeah.
Give us some of the big famous people that you worked with throughout the years, Roy, please.
Well, I mean, I guess there's Deepak Chopra or what's his name? The space guy.
Kevin Spacey?
No, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, I know, but what about Sam Rockwell?
Oh yeah, Sam Rockwell. I mean, there's so many. I don't even know.
Well, that's what I'm talking. We want to fucking get to some of these names for the people.
Well, that's not important, but I would like to play in his band. Think about all the free shit and the swag you'd get as being a member of his band. You'd be like, I'd be sitting courtside.
There's going to be a new character called Roy Harter, anti-name dropper. It's like, I'm trying to tell the audience all the famous people he's worked with through the years. He's just shutting it down. Like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that I worked with Paul Simon, Dave. Don't do that.
No, I like it when people kind of find it on their own. They're like, "Oh, read the line." That's to me, that's the cool way to do it. When you're looking at, like, if you're nuts enough to read credits on things and look into things, and then you see the guy's name attached to it, that's when you really. I hate guys that go around bragging about shit that they've done.
I know.
It's a turn on.
We're fucking trying to get you in James Dolan's band. This is for the purpose of an email to James Dolan.
All right, fair enough.
You know, rich people. They don't care unless they see, like, other rich and famous people. They go, oh, Roy worked with him, did he?
Dave McDonald. Wait a minute, he's on my list at MSG.
You even won an Emmy for something you did for the Garden, correct?
Yeah, for the Garden, dude. I wrote the Rangers opening theme when they were in the Stanley Cup Finals.
That's amazing. He wrote the theme song for the New York Rangers. And how would you get an Emmy out of that, now that I think about it?
They mailed it to me.
No, but I mean, it's in the Madison Square Garden. It wasn't on television.
Oh,
or was it?
I think it was broadcast on TV
too.
too.
They may have used it here on MSG Network.
They cut it into a whole campaign.
I honestly, I don't know. I think they still may be using it. You want me to sing you a little bit of it?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Let's go Rangers. Let's go Rangers.
You are such a jerk.
They sent me Emmy.
You got me. I thought you had a legitimate song for a second. So Leon Rose, he's done a decent job. You know who's not done a good job? Once again, our buddy Brian Cashman. Hey, I just kind of like retweeted the Fire the Brian Cashman song. And like, we're on Twitter. It's got like 50,000 views, man.
How is it doing on X?
And by the way, this was the second time I posted that Fire Brian Cashman thing. And the other one had like 50,000 views. On X.
100,000.
On X.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Well, Brian Cashman has assembled a New York Yankees team that's going to once again probably be in October and once again fucking fail in October. Thanks, Brian Cashman. He's got another a team that how many years have we been saying, boy, this is weird. The Yankees can't hit. They pitch well, but oftentimes it was the reverse. Where the Yankees have problems, historically for 100 years, they were always great at hitting. And then sometimes they just didn't have the starting pitching. Okay, that's what happened to Donnie Baseball. That's why he couldn't get a ring. But they always had great hitting until these last 45 years under Brian Cashman's reign, where the Yankees can't hit. I know they won yesterday 9-0, but they've lost 7 out of 9. Brian Cashman, you know what? I haven't done this in a long time. Cashman, you're on the Shizer list.
Shizer! Shizer! You're the one that we despise!
I don't have to tolerate this as a fan. Nor am I going to.
Who are you going to root for?
Is there a baseball team in Edmonton? Can I curse them again?
Say you're an Expos fan.
No, I mean, I'll always root for the Yankees, but it's crazy, man. And Cashman's going nowhere. His daughter, I can't believe this is a real thing. The general manager's daughter has a show on the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network, the Yes Network, that the Yankees own. Brian Cashman's daughter has a fucking awful show where she will get Paul O'Neill and be like, so what's the origin of your number? Like, why did you wear that number on your jersey? And you're like, how are you going to get a fucking half an hour over? Like, that's the whole premise, is what's the origin of your number?
Wait, come on now. For the
Some
whole
people
show.
are probably just like, I like the number 15. I don't know what else to tell you.
My number's 69.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's disgusting, man.
I would explain to Cashman's daughter why that was my favorite number. It's more of a visual demonstration.
That's horrible. Fucking Brian Cashman putting his kids on TV and not concentrating about getting Aaron Judge some more protection, as he's done for the last 7 years.
I'm going to need some protection on my interview.
All right, look, that'll do it. Roy, do you have anything to promote or plug before we go?
I've got nothing to slash this weekend, David. But in a couple weeks, I'll be slashing at the. No, I got nothing to plug, buddy. Sorry. I'm gonna go and get slashed tonight.
I wrote on my tweet. I said I read less slashes in the Guns N' Roses biography. Like, come on, man. Robert.
Friday, I will be in North Jersey with Jake and Louie, and then Sunday, I'm doing the Drunken Stoner Fest in Brooklyn.
I will promote the Modern Day Man show that we're doing. Davey Mac, Aaron Berg, episode 4's up. It's fantastic. If you make sure you're subscribing on Twitter at Modern Day Man Show, that's the Twitter that's the YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. That's the YouTube account, and that's also the Instagram account. Yeah. So make sure you're following those, liking everything, sharing, and being positive. And another programming note: we will be live next Monday, right, Robert? Not Sunday.
Monday at noon is what we're planning.
Well, we're going to aim for Monday at noon next week, and that'll do it. For Roy Harter, for Bobby Tamburro, I'm Eastside Dave McDonald. Good night, everybody.